Okay, that was, hey, here we are. 1:30, I'd like to call the meeting of the RDC to order. First order of business is the approval of the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second. By Paul Ryder, seconded by Jack Bailey. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next is the approval of financial report. Beth, do you have anything to add? Beth advised previous that there was a 1 penny administrative error in there, and that it was rectified, or is being rectified.
Regions received a penny more than on claim 343 before it was caught, so, as reflected on your reports.
Can I get a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, is there any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We have 4 claims on the docket today. Baker Tilly with 2 claims, and HWC with 2 claims.
Motion to approve claim 344 for $800, for Baker Tilly. Do we need to do them separately?
You can do them however you want to do them.
Motion to approve Baker Tilly 345 for $4,500.
Motion to approve 344 and 345.
I'll second.
Motion seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to approve HWC Engineers $1,145.90, which is 347, and 346 HWC for $3,720.
Motion. Is there a second? Seconded by Michelle. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Gary, do you need to sign?
It needs to be signed by two.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. Is there any other standard business in the submission? No, we'll move into. Yes, sir. So everybody here has a letter from HWC, just giving an update on the project. The highlight here, I think, is that the expected timeline for milestone reconstructions is approximately 59 days, and the Mexico gas line relocation is Brian reached out to me when we have here next month. So, anybody have any thoughts or questions we need to follow up with from HWC? All right. I think the next item on the agenda would be the Delphi Schools, project. So, does anybody here? Oh, yeah.
I understand back then, Joe.
I'm ready.
Ready? Yes, as you
Here's
know,
the back.
Mr. Schuler presented this last year at some point. So I am following up with this, asking for the support of your board for $60,000 to help with our manufacturing. These are trainers. I do not know all the little terminologies on there, because remember, I'm following up from Mr. Schuler. But basically, these are trainers for the specific equipment types used in the many factories, including packers. We've gotten a lot of grant funding from several sources, but we still need to finish getting these trainers to get our manufacturing class up and going. We do have a teacher at this point, yay, because that was kind of touch and go there. So we are up and running. Of course, a lot of stuff's backordered, of course. So we are beginning with OSHA training currently, and but we need to do some other things.
So you have students enrolled right now?
So they're in class right now. So
And Marie, would this payment be made directly to the vendor?
well, that's why I gave you the actual. Well, see, I only made one copy. Sorry. But yes, I went ahead and had this copy made right here. I heard, I don't know, Jim, at one point was there discussion that it was gonna be paid, go through your,
You can do it either way. If you can't pay the vendor, you could, Indian Trails can pay for it, you can reimburse us. We're flexible.
good news is this is the same quote that we had way back when Mr. Schuler was starting, but because of our relationship with SIA, they have actually held this quote now. I mean, obviously, these have increased, they're doing that for a favor for us, in terms of this, so, we're getting this at cost, and they're not charging us shipping, so, yeah, I know, this is probably a substantial.
You need a motion to approve, I'll move to approve the $60,000 payment to Indian.
It needs to be to the vendor, does it not?
To the vendor.
If I remember correctly from previous discussions.
To the vendor, that's my motion.
Is that correct? That we need to actually pay the invoice for the board and not just give you a flat
Correct.
amount of money?
That's correct. And you've got to find that there is a direct benefit by reason of this to the TIF area. Yes,
They're in the TIF area.
right. So direct benefit to the TIF area. But in your motion, you've got to.
Okay. I'd like to amend my motion to.
What is the amount of the quote for the board?
$60,000.
You said exactly for the board? Okay. It's,
Coincidental.
yeah.
They're doing us a lot of favors, so yes, we made a lot of parties all working together.
Would this go directly to JP and Associates?
Yes. That's the website.
JP Automation Inc.?
That's my
You,
motion.
you haven't paid this quote yet?
No, we were told it would go through, the board was so kind to submit forward with this, it would have to go through the purchase.
No, if you pay the vendor directly, that's fine. I mean, it's up to you guys, whatever works best for you. If you need to go through an outside agency, we can do it.
You're doing a good job. I'm paying the benefit to
My motion is to pay the $60,000 to the vendor JP in order to promote the education of the workforce that would benefit the companies in the TIF district.
I think that's it.
I get it?
I think you know.
Second.
Seconded by Jack Lee. In discussion, my question is, so, this has been a minute, since we went down this road. If we say yes, what's the expected delivery time for?
Honestly, I haven't ordered it because I had to go through this process first,
Okay.
so I do not know.
Okay.
And we had another $100,000 grant come to the state, and we're missing 3/4 of the order. So,
do you have an anticipated timeline for implementation?
we're teaching now.
No, for this.
Oh, for this equipment, these are the trainers, so the sooner the better, yes.
When you say these are the trainers,
There's
I don't
trainers.
know what that means.
They're,
So Subaru gave you or donated the electronic arms, the automated arms. These are the trainers that the students can use to have program that arm to do the different functions that you want to train the kids to do. So it's the same, I don't want to say software, it's the same learning concept or skill set that they could use at Packers, Caterpillar, wherever it is, if the kid then goes into a career somewhere in the area. Yeah, you might have a little tweak on this software does it a little different than that software, but the trainers are what we need to get that arm functional, if that makes sense. Did I just muddy the waters? No.
So, I agree in the abstract that there's a huge demand for this, and that we are filling a void here, and like, everything is good. Like, I love the idea, I love everything. What I haven't seen and don't have a good feel for is what the outcomes look like, and what the plan is to get students into jobs. And so, the thing that I would like to request is that we like formalize the relationships or have some idea what that looks like, so that we can say, we made a $60,000 investment, this is the outcomes that we got for our $60,000. And some of that's gonna be abstract, understand that, because we're, investing into education and it takes time, and, there's a build-up process, but there also has to be, like, if there's no plan to get somebody from knowing nothing, being enrolled in your school, getting trained and going to get a good job, then the odds of that seem really low to me. Those are the blanks that would help me a great deal.
so the program's just starting out.
Yeah.
We can get kids from all the other areas, CT, the Indian Trail schools. We are on pathways, and at the end of the pathway, the senior year is called capstone. So that's where we're looking at internships, on-the-job training. The other component too is, currently Mr. Allen is also doing welding, 2 periods. So we are looking at getting him to be a certified welder instructor, so that we can also, on top of manufacturing, have our students get that certification. And additionally, once we get this program going, I would like us to be able to open up to the community and also offer training and certifications to our community members. So we gotta get Mr. Allen through this first year. We don't have half the equipment, we're trying to, piece things together. So this first year is, our initiation year, but that's the plan. So they're gonna walk out. Mr. Allen is actually also certified to do HVAC. So that's something that I wanna
He's
look
your
at.
new hire.
We're not doing that this year. We've got it through, but that's something that we can look at as well.
So with your capstone program, they would also be doing internships while they're still in high school. So anybody that would join that from other schools through Indian Trails could come here, and then they also end up getting placed. Has IPC agreed to do any of that placement so far?
They want to work with us, yes. They're wanting this because they're having a problem finding it's not, honestly, it's not just this class either. All of our classes are looking at this now. So, you know, our ag department, they're looking at the same thing with capstone. You know, our CNA kids are actually taking the licensing and walking out of our building with the CNA license, and they're in the various nursing homes doing hands-on internships. So, this isn't just this program, this is new, because to me, it's filling a void that we need in this area, and from all the local, businesses and industry, they keep telling me this is what we need. We need this right here, so we thought as a school corporation that this would be a good thing to add, because it's not in this area, accessible to students. So, we've met with Packers, discussed that, so, you know, it's our plan. Our plan is to have our kids employable when they walk out. That's our job. Yeah. So,
Yeah, so just talking with Jim, it would fall under a next level career pathway. So a prescribed pathway for students in this program has already been outlined by the state of Indiana. All the school's trying to do is fill that next level pathway with curriculum. And so, I first initially looked at this as a hardware kind of deal, but it's really a software kind of deal. It's more about programming the robot, coding to that degree than it is actual hardware mechanical. So, that is certainly, on our side, on the employability skills side, having those software technicians working at Indiana Packers inherently bring more income than production workers. So, I think that's probably the alignment with the TIF that makes the most sense from our perspective.
thank you.
Can you say in two words what we are purchasing?
Mr. Schuler came, but he's at Carroll right now, so. Mr. Schuler, he's the one, and I'm following up with him.
Okay,
And what I'm getting from,
would it be
it's trainers.
hardware and software,
That would be your best.
trainers?
I would say hardware, software would be your best descriptors.
Yeah, because we've
I
got
mean, some of the
modules.
hardware, yes, you're buying a power cord, I mean, this thing didn't come with a extension cord, you're just not gonna plug it into the wall, so there's gonna be some power, electrical work that's gonna be done at the building to get it ready. But for the most part, if you want a concise term, hardware, software, the software is gonna train the kids how to do the coding and the programming. The hardware is to get the operational thing to actually move and do what they want it to do.
Yeah, because we've got
Hardware and
modules.
software of trainers or robots?
I would say
Train.
Robotic trainers.
Robotic trainer.
either one, probably a robotic trainer would probably fit the build with the broadest,
Excellent, thank you.
okay.
Just pick from those.
Which, by the way, I did get a grant to help, upgrade the electrical
Yeah,
from the community foundation.
great, that's
So,
always a pickup.
because we needed the electrical upgraded.
So with Mr. Schuler's departure, who's spearheading, overseeing the project at the school?
Well, Mr. Sims, who he could not be here today, he's the new principal. I've got the assistant of our wonderful Indian Trails, who they meet regularly. And then, obviously, we're gonna hook him up with mentors, but he's been in the field too, so he has a lot of resources, so he's not coming here brand new, he's been doing this work.
Do you know how many students are enrolled this semester?
I don't know off the top of my head, I would say it's about 15 to 20.
Delphi or for Indian Trails?
I don't know, did we end
I
up
think
this?
all
Did
of
we
our
end up
Delphi
at the
kids this
end?
year.
Yeah, because we had a bunch coming in, and then we didn't have a teacher. So literally, like 4 days before school started, we finally found a teacher. So we lost those gaps where we had the, Twin Lakes, Frontier, all of them, that were gonna send kids. But the welding has more kids, so I mean, if you're talking about just straight manufacturing, I think we're about 15 to 20, but the welding may have a lot more. But we're not talking about the welding, so.
Yeah. No, so it's all very good. So are there juniors and seniors then primarily?
We're just starting at the first level, because like they said, it's a next level program, so so this is the introductory course. You have to have all these credits going up to get into that pathway to satisfy graduate school.
So this is like a freshman, sophomore level?
Yeah. We might have a straight junior in there that's gonna try to double up next year, but
the next level is set up, it's a three-course progress. You have a principal's class, you have the A class, you have the B class, and then if the kid's a senior, you can have a capstone class. So for just starting off, didn't matter what grade level you're at, we all need the principal's class because we all know nothing. So even the kid maybe that's a junior, maybe in a principal's class. Now, next year as a senior, they can take the A class, and if we offer the B class, they can take them concurrently, they can do that. But yeah, we had to start with the basics, we can't just throw them out there and say, oh, you don't already know this. And it's the same with the diesel program that we're starting as well, because we gotta start with the basics and then move it up. If we get a senior in there this year, all they're gonna get is the principals, they'll never see the A or the B class, but they have to go post-secondary somewhere to pick it up. Or we offer it in the evenings, which some of our schools do. Some of the schools, they teach the class, a welding teacher will teach the class to the high school kids during the day, and then in the evening, they'll stick around and teach adults. So that's an opportunity for you.
What does that pathway look like? You got this course that we're funding with this thing. What's A and B then?
Help me.
Not sure the exact titles, like in our heads, we just call them course A, course B. I think the pathway is called Industry Manufacturing 4.0. It's one of the newest pathways that the state of Indiana has come out with. But it's about the programming of all these robotics and hardware. So, that's how they're situated.
So we don't have those courses yet.
Oh, we got them, they're on the books, they got the content standards.
Is anybody in them?
Well, we haven't.
No,
Because you have to have
because
the
you got to, so,
Right, so
yeah,
that's what I mean. So like they exist, but,
Oh, yeah.
so it's a 3-year,
yeah.
there's not gonna be a person in an internship or working for 3 years.
Not tomorrow.
Okay,
Not tomorrow.
Yeah, it takes time.
And that's
You
put
gotta
out by the
build
state.
program.
Right.
And it's the same with our diesel mechanics class that we started this year. So, you know, and then we were actually, state's been so lovely, we have in 3 different graduation pathways. So this is like all the freshmen coming in on this new thing where they're all taking the introduction classes.
Hopefully this is the last one.
And
Yeah,
we have
hopefully.
to follow the pathway set by the state, because if you put a student in course A before they've had principals, the state could say, well, glad they took it, but they don't get credit. We're not gonna recognize that they took it, they won't be a concentrator, and they wouldn't be able to use it for graduation eligibility, so.
No, I understand. What I'm curious about is like, so if A and B don't exist yet, what are the needs going to be for them? Because, I mean, like, we could throw $1 million at this, and if we don't get A and B figured out also, or know that there's a plan to execute A and B, then, like, this was just thrown down a raffle. So that's kind of, what needs to be done to make sure that, do we take these 15 or 20 kids and they go to the finish line?
Oh, we already, this software and all the computer stuff, I mean, it just goes on to the next curricular level. So, I mean, each year has a set curriculum.
So you want me to buy new equipment or something?
Well, I mean, the most expensive equipment we're looking at has been, I mean, of the SIA robots that they donated were LCD. And then we've got $100,000 worth of software that we got through a state grant. So, we've got all this, and then Indian Trails has been wonderful. But I mean,
So Jim, like,
I'm never gonna say we won't need more money later.
yeah, I know, we all.
You never know, we get in a situation, all of a sudden, there's one piece of equipment we have to teach the content standards for, and we don't have that piece of equipment, so we had to go out and buy it. So I never wanna say never. This will get you a good start, because most of what we're looking at with that robot is the programming networking stuff, and that's the bulk of the content standard, for for principles A and B.
So
Now,
you're
a
saying
year from
that they
now, or
would
2
use
years
it
from
in
now-
all 3 classes?
I'm sorry?
They would use the same Mitsubishi equipment in all 3 classes?
Yeah, they're gonna use it, hopefully, as they progress, they get better at it, and they learn, the more nuances to how to make it do different things. But am I gonna say that we bought everything we need for all 3 classes? I don't wanna go out on that limb. Same with diesel. I mean, yes, I've bought Henry a whole bunch of stuff, but is he gonna come back next year and say, hey, I need X? Well, okay.
And I've actually allocated next year money out of our ESSER, which I think that's state COVID pandemic money that has to be spent by 2024. So I've got some money that I've set aside for CTE there as well. But just to get this off the ground is a huge undertaking.
Sure. So, I mean, my recollection, and I apologize again, because this has been a while.
Well, I'm looking in like told, because I haven't been part of this, so yes.
There was a long-term funding gap for this, in terms of like, Jay, you remember what we were talking about that? It was like, the amount of the instructor cost and the physical, all the hard costs.
$100,000 grant that we are built a lot, I mean, I got a ton of software through that grant, we didn't have it at that time.
But I mean, like the amount that students would pay to come into this from other schools was really like a rounding error to the overall cost of the program. Am I?
Yeah, but we get the CTE funding for those courses. So each of those courses per student, the state gives to the student. And this is one of the higher paying, correct, Jim?
Yes.
Yes, one of the higher paying classes. So it kind of, it's not gonna cover the teacher cost neutral. But if we get with our CTE classes that we have, we get a significant amount of money from the state.
Okay. So you feel confident that you have a long-term funding model that's gonna work for sustaining the program?
Yes, I wouldn't be standing here if I did not, because I want to keep our budget fiscally sound.
Okay.
So, yes.
One question I have to go along with this, and for me, it would alleviate or be good to know, can we get some type of each semester, whatever, report on how the classes are progressing, as far as the number of students, how it's going? You know, just to kind of see that, yeah, we're looking at throwing $60,000 out for this. You know, are we seeing benefits coming back? And I know a comment I heard earlier today was, you know, an adult going in talking about trying to get more people into the program, but you get kids involved and they start talking to their friends and that's where a lot of your growth will come. So just to know how it's progressing, so that we're seeing that, yeah, the benefit we, are looking for is.
Well, the kids are in school, we can get you data. So we can say 15 kids are enrolled this year. Of those 15 that were eligible to come back next year, 12 of them came back. So while the kids in school were great, we get the kids, they're right there. It's after they graduate, that gets much more difficult to track them. So can we tell you of the 12 that graduated 2 years from now, how many of them are working at Subaru or SIA or Indiana Packers? Probably not, because the rules for privacy won't let us track that kid after they're out of our building. So.
But you'll know where they're interning and whether that interning.
If they do an internship during their high school career, yes, we'll know where. But as far as how many of those 12 graduates 3 years from now are at Indiana Packers might be able to tell us that, but we as a school can't tell you that, because we can't have access to those kids' information once they graduate. Not by name. We might give a general number that says.
Well, yeah, and that
I mean,
would
they
be
announce
more.
it at graduation, right? It tends to go to college at X, it tends to go to the workforce.
So that's what the kid's telling us, and, tomorrow they change their mind. Or they
Well,
get-
yeah.
Or they get a better offer.
I mean, the only way to know would be a commitment, but I mean, ultimately, the thing that, and we're 2 years away from this, right? So I mean, I guess you have to have some amount of faith that this is the right step in the right direction. But like, the absence of a plan usually turns out into fairy dust or nothing. So, I mean, Indiana Packers wrote a very eloquent letter supporting the project in general, but it lacks substance in terms of like, this is how we intend to employ, or this is, we need this many people, we want, those kind of details, I think, over the years to come are gonna be absolutely critical for success of the.
We had a meeting with Indiana Packers this summer, we were at high school, back before Jeff Schuler left. And yes, they were looking at this and saying, if the kid comes to us and has this training, we would love to interview. But I don't know that they put that in the letter. It's been a while since I read the letter.
Yeah.
But it's the training, it's the skill set they're looking for. Are they still gonna have to tweak the kids and teach them their specifics? Yes. But it saves them a ton of training costs. because the kid already knows how to program, the kid already knows how to code, they've already been exposed to the machinery. So from their standpoint, this is the kid I definitely want to interview. But how many of them are actually gonna physically show up on their doorstep? Must wait 3 years and see.
But it's a step. I mean, that's the point. I can't guarantee what's gonna happen 4 years from now. But right now, we don't have this program in the nursery, so we've put our necks out and a lot of grant writing to get this going, so.
This would be the only program in the 6 counties that Indian Trails covers. So the 11 schools that we deal with, you'd be the only one with this specific pathway. So could you pick up kids from Carroll? Yeah, if you have space. Could you pick up kids from Twin Lakes and Frontier? Yeah, if you have space. If you're the host, this is our policy with Indian Trails. If you're the host school, you get to set your cap, so how many students you take. So, and for safety reasons, for most of it. I have 38 kids in the welding class, that's insane. So if you have space, you want to open it up to your neighbors, great. Thrilled to have kids from Carroll come over and take the class.
Any other thoughts, discussions, questions?
No, I just think it'd be nice, you know, if we had some periodic update on the progress of the program and the attendance or enrollees and whether they're all in county or who we're attracting from where and just, you know, this is a stepping off program and we'd just like to know that it's gotten traction and realizing it's gonna take some time for that to develop. You know, it's a new program, it's right out of the gate, but I just think that'd be nice to provide some updates as we progress the next couple of years.
And I
I
would
really like
welcome
when you
a field
guys-
trip too.
Yeah.
Not now, while we're still in pieces. You know, next year, it'd be great to just have a field, you know, have everybody come walk through the facility.
I mean, getting 15 or 20 kids to do anything is amazing. So, like, I'm super excited that you guys are able to get that much traction that quickly with a program that is maybe a little hypothetical. So, I mean, I love where you're at, and it's exciting. Any other discussion? All right, motion has been made by Paul, seconded by Jack. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, Mayor, do you have anything to talk about today?
Nothing specifically. We're getting ready to meet with IFA on the expansion of the wastewater treatment plant. So, you know, once we see what funding is available through them, we'll be back to the Packers and the RDC on that project.
Very good. Jake, do you have any updates?
Not specifically, just working on the industrial park shell conversation. I didn't know if we were gonna have that today or.
I don't think I don't think so, not today.
Okay.
Got some more reading to do.
Okay. So other than that, we have a large pipeline of state prospects, a larger pipeline than we've had in the past. For me, that isn't any more exciting, but just the percent on these state projects are just razor thin. But the more we can have, the better chance. So we're still making the work happen, and I think I commend you on we've already had discussions about the expansion of 421 and having it 4 lanes from the industrial park to the highway. So we've kind of updated our lingo to the fact that you are 4 lanes to about anywhere in the Midwest. And so it's really helping us tell the story of the industrial park. I know it's been a long time coming with the park, but this is just one step better in the right direction.
Anything else from the crowd today?
I have one question. I just want to make sure I understand. So you guys are gonna order the invoice that's there? So you're gonna order it, we don't have to get involved with it? Or-
No, you're gonna order it.
We're gonna pay for it.
We're gonna order it, you're gonna pay for it, okay, just wanna make sure.
Yeah, the sold to, bill to is us, but the ship to is T.
Okay, just wanna make sure, we were waiting on you and you were waiting on us.
remember you're dealing with a fiscal entity, it may take 30 days or
Well, believe me, I know.
to write a check, okay?
Well,
We authorize the claim. The auditor then gets it. She writes the check. Then it gets put in the mail or whatever.
no, very familiar. Yes, understand that well.
Okay.
So, I wanted to say one other thing before we take off. Jake brought up the idea of the Shell building. The Economic Development Corporation has, put forth a proposal, a recommendation to this body for, the implementation of the Shell building, asking RDC to consider it. Idea is in its infancy, but just wanted to kind of let everybody know that that is out there. Some information should be coming down here very soon, as we'll be reviewing it, and then we'll probably hear something about that more in detail in the September meeting. And thanks to everybody for moving this meeting. I appreciate it, and look forward to serving with everybody moving on. Thank you.
One
Yeah.
thing, where do we stand on, I know we're waiting on additional information on an attorney for the RDC, since we have somebody retiring, so. Well, we've got to agree to the replacement.
I think Barry has agreed to serve through the end of the year, so.
But end of the year is coming quick, isn't it?
I was talking to my Josh and Michelle, and I've decided to at least serve until the end of the year.
So I agree. I think that we need to probably have a more formal discussion in September about the replacement, so we can accommodate Barry's timeline and not have to make a snap decision for, hey, this needs to be done next month.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
When's the next meeting?
September 15th, 1:30 p.m.
September 15th.
So, I would be fine with one, but I thought somebody, I thought Michelle had asked me. You didn't want to be one, right? Because you have one.
You got to investigate that.
So that way you're on time, is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
That was my goal.
Which is weird. We've all established that.
The three of us were sitting here at 1 o'clock, so that was it.
Well, that's simply because I got here early.
Because I didn't remember the time.
Well,
It was.
the amended agenda.
Clearly was.